Sarah Sanders has been a legendary White House press secretary, and she just did something that no other press secretary has ever done. The Democrats and the mainstream media are freaking out over General John Kelly's actions while at breakfast in Brussels with President Donald Trump. They claim he was pissed off, and what Sarah Sanders tells them makes their heads explode. Don't miss this. According to a facial expression expert hired by the Washington Post, General John Kelly was squirming in his seat while at a breakfast meeting in Brussels with President Donald Trump. They mind-read Kelly, saying he hates that Trump called out Germany's reliance on Russia during the meeting. The Washington Post reports, Patrick Stewart, an associate professor of political science at the University of Arkansas, said Kelly's facial reaction at that moment can be described as a combination of a chin raiser and a lip corner dimpler, both of which are associated with annoyance. He's expressing with his lower face that he's displeased, maybe irritated, said Stewart, who is certified in the facial action coding system used by experts to break down human facial movement. It's not really hardcore anger. The Washington Post continues, later at the breakfast meeting, Trump renews his attacks, gesticulating as he says that Germany is captive to Russia because it's getting so much of its energy from Russia. Apostrophe as Trump enunciates the word captive. Nearly all of the U.S. aides seen in the clip have a noticeable reaction. On his left, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo turns his head away from Trump and looks down at the plate in front of him, while on his right, Hutchison flinches, straightens up abruptly and casts her eyes toward the president. At the far end of the table, Kelly tightens his mouth, reports the Washington Post. Watch the video below which the Democrats and mainstream media have depicted General John Kelly, and other Trump officials, as displeased and irritated by President Trump. This is such a ridiculous game by the leftists, and Sarah Sanders is sick and tired of playing. So, in her official role as White House press secretary, she gave an official statement to the Washington Post regarding their lame claim by a facial expression expert that Kelly was pissed off. Sanders explained Kelly's so-called facial chin raiser and a lip corner dimpler, saying, Kelly was displeased because he was expecting a full breakfast and there were only pastries and cheese. Well, that did it. The media was aghast. Was this Sanders' official statement? Yes, it was. Twitchy reports, the Washington Post whipped up a piece about Trump attacking Germany in Brussels and made a special point about the reactions of the other members of the administration at the table. Twitchy adds, the best part, though, is the statement White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders gave the Post when asked for comment on White House Chief of Staff John F. Kelly pursing his lips tightly. Immediately, the meltdown began. Those who love Sarah Sanders and President Trump were overjoyed at their reaction. Free Beacon reporter Stephen Gutowski tweeted, "Oh man, this is so ridiculous that I enjoy imagining it being true." Kelly was so pissed about the breakfast that he was visibly upset about it. "Oh man, this is so ridiculous that I enjoy imagining it being true." Kelly was so pissed about the breakfast that he was visibly upset about it. Stephen Gutowski, at Stephen Gutowski, July 11, 2018. This is a real quote, and it's magnificent, tweeted BuzzFeed editor Tom Garza, who is cheering on Sanders' epic response. Even a liberal BuzzFeed editor knows that Sanders is playing the legacy media like a fiddle. This is a real quote, and it's magnificent. Tom Garza, at Tom Garza, July 11, 2018. Trump supporter Chris Cloud tweeted, "Okay, that's hella relatable. Continental breakfast is just a code word for bullshit." Yes, Sarah Sanders called the leftists losers out on their tired bullcrap, and Americans are enjoying every minute of it. Mad World News. Okay, that's hella relatable. Continental breakfast is just a code word for bullshit. Chris Cloud, at HereIceCloud, July 11, 2018. Even a former member of the Obama administration, Norm Eisen, weighed in and he loved Sarah Sanders' official statement, tweeting, "Just eat more pastries. Did it many times as an ambassador. Just eat more pastries. Did it many times as an ambassador." Norm Eisen, at Norm Eisen, July 11, 2018. Sarah Sanders cornered the mainstream media, after they decided to paint this false narrative that Kelly and other Trump officials were irritated and worried about the president doing his job by exposing Germany's reliance on Russia for energy. She made sure they had to report her words. She masterfully exposed their ridiculous narrative. Thank God for Sarah Sanders. Daily, she is attacked, but she keeps going on. She makes the swamp rats run from the light of truth with her refreshing sense of humor. We truly are blessed to have such a patriot as our press secretary.